Well, hello and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. We're back. I'm Randy Rosenblum, your host. We have SB Live's Tarek Fatal back again. We're going to have a lot of fun. But first, Tarek, what'd you do during the summer?
Man, did I have a good summer. My first summer, full summer, as a father. My daughter Isla turned 1 August 10th. It's been fantastic. Shout out to my wife, who really has been carrying. She is the star of the team, per se. But little Isla is 1 year old now and healthy and beautiful, and that's what I did this summer. I was a dad.
My highlight, I went to Iceland on a vacation. That was awesome. Got to swim in the Blue Lagoon. It doesn't get any better than that. In fact, there's Randy just a few weeks ago. And by the way, the water's really warm, 105, 107. The air outside, the temperature 45 to 50. It's brisk.
Sounds like a tough transition right there.
Yep, there I am. We had a great time, and that was a great highlight for the summer. All right, speaking of highlights, let's talk about prep football. We're obviously in the football season. Let's start with Mater Dei. They won it all last year. They were the premier team. They had a very difficult opening game against a tremendous Corona Centennial team. But Mater Dei looked good. They ran the football well, and their defense was outstanding, especially in the second half. 2
blocked punts, I believe 2 interceptions. 1 blocked punt went back for a touchdown. A bevy of sacks. I mean, Nasir Wyatt, Abdul Sanders were all over the field. Chuck McDonald, the defensive back, was shutting down wide receivers. Despite Corona Centennial not having Hassan Longstreet, 5-star quarterback going to Texas A&M, I thought they showed some glimpses that they just need their quarterback back on the field, and they'll be just fine. Either way, a great way to start high school football this year. And here's Dash Byerly, the new quarterback at Mater Dei, scrambling for his life, but showing how elusive he is on the field.
Yeah, he missed some throws early, which he'll connect on later in the year, but Byerly is big time, and Mater Dei is, again, a team to reckon with. There's no question they're the best team right now. We'll see who can knock them off. Maybe it'll be Bishop Gorman next week as the two teams collide. Gorman, the powerhouse from Nevada. By the way, the running back, Jordan Davison, he had 121 yards. He is outstanding for the Monarchs. All right, let's talk about Jay Serra. They took it to Sierra Canyon. It's not a shock that they won the game. It is shocking that Ryan Hopkins and company beat them by 28.
So this is very surprising, the result, like you said, the gap. But more interestingly enough, Jay Serra's quarterback last year was a kid named Michael Tollefson, Arizona State commit, transferred to Tustin. So Ryan Hopkins comes in, JV quarterback last year. Comes in now as the junior starting for Jay Serra. So you thought maybe they could get off to a slow start. Sierra Canyon would jump all over that. Absolutely the contrary. So shout out to Hopkins for really being the standout player for Jay Serra in that 35-7 win.
And what did John Ellinghaus say after the game, the Sierra Canyon coach? They just kicked our you-know-what.
Yeah.
he didn't back off.
No, he didn't.
He said his team got beat.
No, I call him, hey, coach, John, I've been covering John for a decade. Hey, John, what happened? He goes, man, we just got our butts kicked. And that was that. So I respect a coach that will tip his hat to the other team and go, we got to get better and keep pushing forward. Not one excuse that I hear out of him.
Rod Sherman's got a great football team in Orange Lutheran. They had a tough opener. In fact, they have the toughest schedule in America. Max Preps says Lou's schedule is the best in the country. This is not an easy assignment to begin the year. They got another tough game tomorrow against Rancho Cucamonga. But Olu won at 21-13. T.J. Lateef with a highlight play.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to roll it here in a second. This kid, there were moments, T.J. Lateef, first game back, going to Nebraska, high-level recruit. I just wonder if maybe he just was thinking that this is Jimmy Butler from Sarah Gardena bouncing off a defender and scoring a touchdown. This game was close. Sarah's got some talent. They got a great secondary, C.J. McBean. But when we show Lateef here, maybe a little too much confidence. I mean, he scrambles. He's thinking he can just take on the world, and you won't see an acrobatic hit like that often on Friday night.
Not only that, it's illegal to hurdle in high school football. So he cost his team 15 yards, but he certainly endeared himself to his teammates. They love the toughness. T.J. Lateef, very, very solid football player. And again, they play Rancho Cucamonga tomorrow night, and that'll be a test because they're playing them on the road. Next, we want to talk about a very good football team you all know about, St. John Bosco. And now, you think this is a surprise. Chaminade Madonna is a very good program. By the way, the new quarterback, Fuyava, over 300 yards for the Bosco Braves.
Matai Fuyava, first-year starter as a junior. So, there's this notion out here that that St. John Bosco is down. They're not down. They've graduated 64 seniors the past 2 seasons. So you've got names that are unproven. So just because there's not any household names yet, people think, St. John Bosco's rebuilding, Jason Negro's developing young talent. Well, he's definitely developing young talent, but they're not down. So guys like Matai Fuiava and other underclassmen on their team have been doing very, very well. They're going to be just fine.
Speaking of just fine, Narbonne, who's had a great tradition in the LA City section, looks to be very solid again. They opened up with Garfield. They win it 28-14. The quarterback, Jaden O'Neal, is the guy. You can see his passing yardage, but he also runs the football, and he scored twice.
Yeah, Jaden O'Neal, I've said it, you don't normally see nowadays, unfortunately, Oklahoma commits playing in the city section. Yeah, that's where he's committed, Oklahoma. That's big-time college football. He's only a junior. He had a great summer, Elite 11 camps, quarterback camps. He was a standout in all of them. And so to see him in the city section and leading Narbonne, on paper to me, so far, Carson's right there too, but Narbonne is the team to beat in the Open because of all the talent. They take care of Garfield 28-14.
Let's hear it for Southgate. They didn't win a football game last year, and they had a tough assignment to begin the year going to Lincoln. This was a game that went back and forth. Southgate wins it 46-40. And the next game we want to discuss is Fulton. We're going to talk to Randy Luna, their fine coach, and a running back linebacker, Keven Aguilar, in a moment. But let's hear it for Fulton Prep. They went from 8-man to 11-man. This is their first 11-man game, and they went to Canoga Park and dominated.
Hey, one milestone at a time, right, Randy? When you're building a program or you're trying to raise one from resurrection, not that Fulton was that. They've been an 8-man power for a long time. But, hey, going to 11-man, you're talking about different dimensions. You're talking about bringing back returners that are used to certain width, certain length. And now, hey, man, these things are different. There's more players onto the field. So there's a learning curve out there. Despite all that, they get a victory in their first game. So more excited to hear about that here soon.
And I'm excited to bring them in. These are two good gentlemen. Let's bring in the head coach, Randy Luna. Congratulations, Coach. You are the Coach of the Week appointed by the Chargers in prep football. And I know, Keven Aguilar, you're off to a nice start as well. Coach, diagram for us. How good was the performance at Canoga Park? And were you surprised with your dominance with an 11-man football team?
It was motivating, to see these young men on that battlefield and, collectively together. It's a blessing to see what they're able to do. Throughout the entire summer, we've just been, focusing on one thing at a time. And with the Marine Corps mentality that I bring to this football team, they stay disciplined, they communicate effectively. And what I appreciate from these young men is that they know how to play together and while maintaining discipline throughout chaos. And, it's amazing to see what they're able to do. And it's an honor and privilege to be their head coach. And I'm extremely thankful for them and their hard work.
Keven, talk about the transition from being 8-man football to 11, though obvious for people watching. Okay, yeah, there's more players on the field, but what are some adjustments you can share that are so different from going from one to another? Because you could argue they're kind of like different sports, the 8-man and the 11-man.
Right. Personally, it was a very smooth transition as the 8-man game is very fast and it helped us transition well into 11-man. As well as the size of the field took some getting used to, as there's about 5 more yards on each sideline. So just, understanding where the boundaries are at and, where to place yourself to make a play, that took some getting used to.
Randy, let's talk about building the program. Are you at the point in the program that you feel comfortable that you can be a quality team in the city section at the 11-man level? Do you feel like you got the numbers now at the school to compete throughout the whole season?
I believe so. For me, it's all about heart, commitment, sacrifice. And that's what we instill into these young men. We're here for them. We're here to guide them, lead them to the best of our ability as coaches. This program is only going to continue to grow, as long as they continue to follow our lead and continue to listen to what we have to preach and provide for them. This program is only going to continue to grow, and we're extremely thankful for them and what we're capable to do for them as well.
Keven, you win big your first game. Obviously, you're thinking, man, we're ready to take on an NFL team, right? We're going to win the Super Bowl. As a senior, there's got to be an element where it's okay to celebrate victories. Of course, you have to. That's part of it. But how do you keep the team even keel, knowing a lot of games ahead? You may take some lumps down the road.
Right. I feel it's important that everyone knows it's only the first week. On any given Friday, any given team, they can beat us. So staying disciplined and understanding that we need to win more games, I feel like is what keeps us grounded.
Coach, I know you love the guy we're talking with, Keven Aguilar. What makes him special?
His work ethic, his commitment, his sacrifice, and his commitment just on and off the field. Keven Aguilar is an outstanding young man, and it's a privilege to have him as one of my team captains to go along with all the players on my team. You know, we continue to preach, you know, we got to continue to stay disciplined, work hard, play together, be together, and at the end of the day, whatever the outcome is, we still win in life because of the experience.
Coach Luna, it sounds cliche, but it's true. It takes a village, right? Administrators, teachers, assistant coaches, players. Who are the people you want to give a shout out to that makes it all possible?
First and foremost, to the Fulton family, our athletic team, Mr. Holtzman, Mr. G, the coaches, again, just everyone who's involved, from the friends and family. We thank you, we appreciate you, because we're nothing without them. And again, we look forward to having them on our Friday night games.
Keven, I understand we're going to see you in the 2028 Olympics. Powerlifting or doing something with weights. Is that your goal, and can you do it? And what is your event?
Yes, sir, that is my goal. I believe in myself, and I believe in the people around me to support me, that I will be able to make it.
So you're going to be a weightlifter?
Yes, sir. As the where I would be competing, and then what lift exactly, that has yet to be determined.
But you toss out some of the things you're lifting right now.
Yeah, give us your numbers,
give
man.
Us some numbers.
Tell us what you were telling us off air. Come on.
Don't be shy.
Okay. So at 165 body weight, I am able to squat 455 pounds, deadlift 415, and bench 250 pounds.
That's awesome. Hey, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Congratulations on the win. Coach, congratulations on your award from the Chargers, being the Coach of the Week in SoCal. And continued success. Keep it going, and maybe we'll see you in the playoffs down the road. Maybe a CIF City Championship for the Jags. How's that sound?
Yes, sir. That's the goal.
All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
You got it. Again, Tarek, we talk about it all the time. We love stories, and that's a very good story with them bumping up to 11-man.
Yeah, I can guarantee you there might be a byline here in the next couple of weeks about our boy Keven Aguilar and how much he's lifting over at Fulton Prep. That is impressive, 165, and he can squat 455. I'm going to have to go get that on video. To your point, great stories, and that's what we do on this show.
Great performances is what we do on this show as well. We're going to start with Dorian Hose from Murrieta Valley. Great name, Hose. 175 yards. He hosed Rancho Cucamonga with 5 touchdowns. That's an awesome performance.
It is, and it's worth mentioning Bear Bachmeyer, Stanford commit, didn't play in the game.
Correct.
So when you're game planning, you're thinking, okay, Dorian Hose is the guy we got to stop. Well, they couldn't stop him anyway. So 5 touchdowns, a great, great Friday night for Dorian Hose.
How about Jason Collick, the quarterback at Laguna Beach, over 300 yards. But what I like, 3 in the air for touchdowns, 3 more on the ground. So he counts for 6 against St. Marguerite's.
Collick, if I'm not mistaken, only a sophomore, big-time recruit, like 6'6", 6'5" kid. I mean, we're talking about a blue-chip quarterback at the high school level. He's getting a lot of love now as a sophomore, but there's some juniors and seniors that are ready to rock at the college level here sooner. So in another year, we'll all be talking about Collick.
We're all talking about Dominic Duran, too. He's another fine quarterback. Oxnard Pacifica, a long way out there in Ventura County, but look at those numbers. Over 500 yards, 6 touchdowns in the win over West Ranch. West Ranch has been good in recent years. This is a heck of performance.
Yeah, Oxnard Pacifica is now a new member of the Marmani League. We're talking Oaks Christian, St. Bonaventure, some heavy hitters in that league. So that's a league that is basically the best high school football teams in Ventura County combining forces and playing against each other. So, Simi Valley, Jim Bankert's in that league. So this is a good indicator that Pacifica will be right there competing for a Marmoni League championship.
Yeah, Bankert's already got Simi Valley. The Pioneers 2-0. All right, look at that one down on the bottom. Arturo Arguello, LA High.
Wow.
18 tackles against Panorama.
Love the pronunciation there. Nice work. Hey, listen, 18 tackles. If I'm the other team, I'm thinking, hey, how about just running the opposite way of this guy? 18 tackles in a game is very, very impressive. Doesn't matter what level.
Yeah, but he's running sideline to sideline. You can't get away from Arguello. We can't also get away from SB Live's rankings. We love to do this in football. Southern section top 10. Obviously, we're going to start with Mater Dei. The Monarchs with that big win over Corona Centennial. We have them number 1. St. John Bosco, you have number 2, Tarek.
Yeah, I think this is a team that, again, isn't so much down. They're just developing and young, and the household names are coming. Sarah Gardena, I want to bring them up. 21-13 loss to Orange Lutheran. Rod Sherman, and I know you're going to do their game tomorrow night. You can ask them this. Rod Sherman, the coach at Orange Lutheran, said that he thinks Sarah of Gardena has the best secondary in the state. And if I gave you the list of names, he might be right. We're talking about some big time players, including the number 1 sophomore in the country in Duvet Williams. So really, really talented list. Things are going to shake up here in the next couple weeks, but this is it right now.
Big time schools, that top group, the top 5, look really solid, and I still believe Centennial in number 6 is going to be good before it's all said and done, with Longstreet coming back. But that number 3 ranked team, Mission Viejo,
yes, sir. Yes,
they
sir.
are a strong team and a definite threat to Mater Dei and Bosco.
Yeah, they're already 2-0, as you can see there. They won a game in Hawaii. Then they came and played Santa Margarita, a Trinity League, very good Trinity League team, and that wasn't even close. That game was 35-7. Mission Viejo's offense, 2 quarterbacks. Philip Bell, who's going to either commit to SC or Ohio State here on Saturday, big-time blue-chip recruit. Vance Spafford, getting all kinds of offers. He got one from Georgia. So the athletes are everywhere for this Diablos team offensively. And on defense, they got Dijon Lee, number 1 corner in the country. He's going to Alabama. So we talk about Mater Dei, we talk about Bosco. Hold on now. Mission Viejo might have something to say about that.
Yeah, Spafford is a wonderful wide receiver. Just makes catch after catch for Mission Viejo. All right, let's talk about the top 10 in the LA City section. And they've always had balance, at least in recent years in the city. We have Narbonne number 1 based on their really solid performance against Garfield.
Yeah.
I think look at the Marine League, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, can't argue this. And listen, we could get our guy Jim Rose on here from Birmingham, 4-time defending city champion. I talked to coaches all summer long before the season comes. And, hey, Coach, what do you think about your team this year? And he just said, don't watch us early. He knows they're not going to be very good right now. Lot of youth, only 9 seniors, a 14-year-old freshman at quarterback. They play St. Bonaventure tomorrow night, and I don't think that score is going to be close. But he's going to carve up his team and get them prepared for West Valley League play. They will be in the open division. But, boy, I don't know if they have the horses to beat a Carson or a Narbonne or even a Banning or a Pedro this year. But watch out for 2025.
One thing about Birmingham, they've won 43 straight games against city competition, tying Wilson's all-time record. In a few weeks, they played Chatsworth. Chatsworth's actually a pretty good football team this year, but Birmingham will be favored. So one thing for Jim Rose, he knows he can get the record in the city section with a 44-game winning streak.
Yeah, I doubt he's thinking about it much, but...
Oh, I think he is thinking about it.
You do think?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, he might be, and, Jim Rose, super competitive guy. We're talking about a guy that won a flag football girls championship in the city last year, the open division football champion, 11-man football championship, and made a run at the softball championship too. This guy can coach, and he's very competitive.
Also Kennedy, you see, well, they're losing tonight to San Pedro, and pretty handsomely. But Kennedy last week against El Camino Real had 14 points in the bank before a minute and a half, and this quarterback, Montez, can really sling the ball.
Troy Cassidy's got a team. I know, again, talking to him before the season started, hey, what's the goal? What's the outlook? He just wants to be a really, really good, formidable Division I playoff team. And right now, despite a lopsided score at halftime, I think they're down to Pedro, or are they playing Banning?
Yeah, Pedro.
San Pedro, 35-7. They're going to be, and that's an open division quality team. So I think the Cougars are going to be a team to beat in Division I. They got seniors, they got experience. Some all-city guys returning. I think they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, they have 5 all-city players returning. Diego Montez, the quarterback, only a junior, was all-city last year. They are loaded, and the stated goal there is to make a deep run in Division One. If they won tonight, they would have been a real candidate to be in the Open Division.
For sure.
But they're not going to win tonight, so they're going to fall to where they really belong, D1.
Oh, there's no question. I think they've got balance, Randy, and that's what I like about them. I thought they'd be a little more competitive against San Pedro, but I think what you're seeing there is when you've got an ilk of football that you play year in, year out, like a San Pedro, they got the beef up front. They know what open division football looks like. So no matter how good a Division I team plays, there's a big gap to bridge there. So all that to be said, I like that Kennedy can run it, they can pass it, they can do a little bit of everything, and that versatility will bode well for them in Division I playoffs.
Hey, how about the Garfield-Roosevelt game later this year? It's going to be played at SoFi Stadium. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, anytime you get a high school event in a professional venue, it's not just special for fans, but boy, is it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for student athletes that will always remember playing at Dodger Stadium for the city championship in baseball, or heck, even the Southern Section Championship in modern-day Bosco was at the Coliseum. That's, you're talking about a historical
and this game's
sports
been at the Coliseum
venue.
before.
Yeah, exactly right. So SoFi Stadium, that sounds a little bit nicer to me. The Staples Center's been used for high school basketball stuff, not championships, but games and showcases. Now that the Intuit Dome, is in play here in Los Angeles, I know that Balmer is excited about getting the community involved. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Southern Section Championships at the Intuit Dome for hoops in the next coming years.
Former Long Beach Poly star Juju Schuster in the NFL already won a Super Bowl ring with the Chiefs. Released by the Patriots, goes to the Chiefs. So he's back home where he belongs, I guess.
Maybe another Super Bowl opportunity. I've been listening to the NFL analysts say that they think the Chiefs are better this year than they were last year. So that's a remarkable. If I'm not mistaken, if they won this year, that would be 3 in a row. Am I right? They won back to back. Yeah,
no one's ever done it.
That's just ridiculous. And I think you got Pat Mahomes, you got Travis Kelce. You always got a chance. You got a coach that season. So from what I'm understanding, the Chiefs seem to be the favorite to win it again. And wouldn't that be sweet for Juju Smith-Schuster?
Yeah, they have more speed on the outside. Schuster's going to have trouble getting on the field. He'll get on the field. He's that good, but that's how good the Chiefs are. And the Chiefs' defense is as good as any in the NFL. But we're not talking NFL here. We're talking prep. But thanks a lot to Juju Schuster. He's a great football player. In fact, his name's up here, so we got his jersey up there. That's good. Smith-Schuster. There, it's in the back.
We'll get it later. Don't stress out our camera guy.
Yeah, he was not a City Hall of Famer, but the city has again selected some great names to go in their Hall of Fame. I'm just going to throw a few names out at you. Long ago, Wendell Tyler was a great running back at Crenshaw, had a great career at UCLA later. He's one of the big names. Steve Smith, who was a great wide receiver at Taft. At the time,
Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, for the New York Giants. State records when he was there, since broken, but Steve Smith was a phenomenal wide receiver. How about Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers, is going to go into the Hall of Fame. She went to Palisades High School. Ryan Braun, the great baseball hitter from Granada Hills, who had a marvelous career with the Milwaukee Brewers. And Randy Wolf out of El Camino Real, the lefty, they always say crafty, the crafty lefty. Randy went over 100 games in Major League Baseball. He was great at ECR.
It's a great class. Steve Smith, I just remember watching him play for the Giants and those good teams. Remember watching him play at USC. So Jeannie Buss is a great name, too. The names for this in class going to the City Section Hall of Fame is impressive. They always are. But something about this one, to me at least, stands out.
Yeah, it's going to be a great class, and the induction ceremony will be early next year. But it's really an honor for those guys. And I think even for the guys who become pros or the women who become pros, it's always exciting to go back and appreciate what you accomplished in high school and win an award.
Isn't it always at the Odyssey?
It's at the Odyssey.
That's a nice view of the valley up in Granada Hills. It's a good venue. The city section does a good job. Dick Dornan, Vicky Lagos, they do a good job over there.
You're throwing out the names today.
Hey, man, gotta give a shout out to the people that make it happen.
Let's give a shout out to some of the key games that are coming up tomorrow night. There's some big Friday night games. How about Santa Margarita at Corona Centennial? This will be the game of the week on Bally's.
Okay, this sounds really dumb, like, yeah, no, duh, Tarek, but someone's going to go 0-2 here. And I bring that up because, these are two teams that are eyeing Division I football. And you got to be careful because if you get a second, a third loss, it's hard to crack into that Division I group now. So depending on how many teams they take. So I highlight this very, very early, almost to prognosticate the loser of this game might end up as a high seed in Division II and make a run. I'm just saying this now. We're not even in September. So this is a game that I think Centennial is going to win. Hassan Longstreet, by the way, will play. That's your boy Tarek Patel from SB Live reporting. He will play. He didn't play last week against Mater Dei. He's ready to go against Santa Margarita.
Yeah, he had the foot injury. They really need him too. But he's got a gun, and I think Hassan's the best quarterback in Southern California. Oaks Christian at Sierra Canyon. Well, Tarek, Sierra Canyon is in that same boat.
Yes, they are.
They got a dangerous game here, and they don't want to fall to 1-2.
No, they do not, and I think they'll be okay. Word on the street is Deshaun Rideau, the just dynamic running back. You know who Charlie Collins, the head coach at Oaks Christian, he what is the word? He says that Deshaun Rideau reminds him of Napoleon Kaufman. So I don't know if you remember him in high school and college. Like, he was dynamic.
You remember the Lompoc?
I do. I was a little young when that was going on. I remember Napoleon Kaufman in the NFL.
Okay.
But when I remember him, that was in the early 2000s. I think he was already on the back end of his career. But when Charlie Collins said that, I thought, okay, that's high praise.
It is.
Because he was really good. I don't think he's going to play on Friday against Sierra Canyon. So Sierra Canyon might be safe, and I think they're going to be just fine at home and get that win. Talking
some of these big games on Friday. How about Olu and Rancho Cucamonga? Rancho lost their first game, but they're very, very talented. Olu with Latif and D1 guys all over the field. Rod Sherman loves this football team. Sherman's in his 4th year there now. He feels he's really got a team that can make a strong run in the Trinity League, but their schedule is brutal.
Yeah, I think they'll be a Division I team. Rod Sherman had Orange Lutheran in the Division II championship in his first year. I don't know if you remember that, Randy. They played Alemany and Floyd Chalk. Alemany had him on the ropes. Orange Lutheran came back and won the game, D2 champs in his first year. So here we are 4 years later, I guess 3 seasons later, and he's got a team that's going to compete in the Division I playoffs. I think they're going to roll against Rancho Cucamonga on Friday night.
Leo Hannon is a really good quarterback for Servite. Servite doesn't get a whole lot of attention these days, but they're very good because they're in the Trinity League. And everyone's talking about Olu and obviously Mater Dei and Bosco and Santa Margarita. But Servite's impressive, but this is a real test against Murrieta Valley.
Leo Hannon going to Michigan State, and Quade Carr is the running back there at Servite. This is a much improved team. In 2022, they were 1-9, and then last year, I believe they went 7-5. Huge improvement under the new coach in his 2nd year. So Servite is rolling, and they are rolling in the right direction. I do think Servite's going to win that game.
Warren at Sarah. This is another intriguing matchup. Again, Sarah lost a game last week, as did Warren, but Sarah has that secondary you were talking about. Everyone's high on the Cavaliers, and I would imagine they're the favorite here.
No, I think they are. Despite Warren having Madden Iamaleva going to UCLA, big-time quarterback, I don't think they're going to have enough. Sarah, to me, absolutely could have beat Orange Lutheran. They had 3 empty trips inside the red zone. Coach Scott Altenberg for sure thinks he could have won that game. And that defensive secondary, boy, Trey Harrison, C.J. McBean, Duve Williams, the #1 sophomore in the country at defensive back, loaded Sarah team with Jimmy Butler at quarterback. I think Sarah's going to win that game, and they'll be just fine.
Where are you tomorrow night?
So tomorrow night, I'm changing it up. I'm not going to a big game. It's kind of there's an opportunity to do something different tomorrow night. I'm going to St. Paul versus Bishop Amat. I'll actually be right back here.
That's a rivalry.
I will be right back here in Santa Fe Springs tomorrow night. Definitely for some football. It'll be a great crowd, great atmosphere. But I'm more interested in the tailgate. They have barbecue and all kinds of different food. Could it be the best tailgate in high school football? I'm going to find out.
How's the chicken?
Yeah, there's chicken, barbecue.
I like chicken.
Barbecued pork, pulled pork. I mean, the list goes on. The menu looks like you would be at like Stonefire Grill or something, and they're doing it before football on Friday night.
Of course, tomorrow I'll be at Rancho Cucamonga. I'm looking forward to the game against a very solid Olu team. Orange Lutheran's going to be the favorite, but there's Sermon's brothers. They're 2 great players. Ricky Sermons Jr. and his brother are very talented for Rancho Cucamonga. They got great speed. So that's going to be interesting, the power, the physicality of Orange Lutheran against a Rancho Cucamonga team with great speed who won 10 games last year. Tarek, quick first show.
Hey, we're back, and I'm excited.
All right, we'll see you next week.
I'm just loving the new set. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we got Smith Schuster.
We gotta give some love to the set and our producer Larry
Yeah, I
Zavala
love the frames.
for putting it all together. Look at the pan action.
I shouldn't have talked
So we
about
got
it
Hawkes
earlier,
right here, Juju Smith-Schuster. That's Clark Phillips from La Habra, a really, really good player.
How about on my side?
Yeah,
I
I think
can't
we're
see
making
it,
our
but
way. Oh, we're making our way
I know
over. Oh, I got
Thibodeau's
you.
back
I
there.
got you. So we got Bryce Young, of course,
Good.
modern day C.J. Stroud. By the way, number 1 and 2 picks right there, respectively. And then someone I covered in high school and I got to know really well was Keven Thibodeau, who ended up being the number 2 pick. And I believe had like 10 sacks his rookie year or something like that. Really, really good.
We
really
had
good
him on
year.
this show twice. Keven, keep up the good work with the Giants. For Tarek, I'm Randy. That's going to wrap it up this week. By the way, when I was in high school, Tarek doesn't believe this.
No
I
shot.
benched 300 pounds. You don't believe that?
No shot. And Randy claims
We're gone. We'll see you
Randy
next week.
claims that he was a lazy and non-athletic athlete.
But I was
But you
strong
could
as
just
an ox.
waltz into a weight room and throw up 300 pounds.
300 pounds, no problem.
No shot. I don't believe you.